This time we're just going to look at how we feedback GPS numbers and what we're trying to do. So we use Apex StatSports GPS units. They're voted the best GPS units by UEFA in terms of accuracy and data they feed back. There's 97 different metrics, which is all on its own platform, but we pull in 27 metrics, and we make a couple of our own by dividing some of them against each other. And so this is just one team's data for, I think it's only 25 training sessions this year. So what we try to do with PPA is boil this down to a few key numbers that the coaches and players can understand. So after each training session and match, we just come into this little report window and quickly run over the data. So any one of these 5 things here can be changed. So this tells us the time of training. So it's 66 minutes. So if we want to look just quickly at total distance, not a big fan of total distance. We prefer HMLD, which is all the sprinting and acceleration and decelerations of training. That's the total meters of each one of sprinting and accelerating. And then this is the total numbers of sprints and accelerations. And then this is simply HML efforts divided by minute, which gives us intensity of training. Also, meters per minute gives us intensity as well. But in terms of how we feed it back to coaches, so this will be a match one. So there's nothing in here in effectiveness yet because this is a training session, involvements. But we just take a screenshot of that. But in terms of training, I suppose we'll just concentrate. So this is a training on the 10th to the 12th in Corinthians. So all that's happening is we get the actual number for that player, so this is a prop. So we just divide his HMLD by actual match data, by AIL match data. If this was hurling, it would be inter-county number we're dividing it by. So we're just dividing his number by what we'd expect him to do in a game, and it gives us a percentage. So that tells us that this prop at 160% load of that training session of what we expect him to do in a match. On average, a training session was 119% load of a game. HML effort, so number of sprints, accelerations, decelerations, was 143% on average for a game. So this was after coming out of the second lockdown, so kind of a second mini preseason. So that's why the load is so high, and the intensity was huge, 171%. So anywhere up to 75% is kind of an amber, low team run type session. 75 to 100 is a green, match intensity type session, and then anything above that is quite a tough session. So that's I'm not going to go into too much more detail than that, but hopefully that just gives you an idea of what we're trying to do here.